Greetings, everyone.
And now you're scared.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Chant A Psalm A. Oh my gosh, blessed greetings, Chawa, blessed rise. Thank you for joining Chant A Psalm A today. Thank you for liking this video. Thank you for subscribing to this channel. Thank you for just being a part of this. I am traveling, so I am gotta do this and I gotta get moving quick. But anyway, here we are. And I love the psalm today and the word today. The word today is gathering. So a lot of people are traveling, like myself, and we're gathering with our family, with our friends, and our loved ones. We're gathering. And in this gathering, blessed greetings of love and happiness with great gratitude for the Most High daily. Elsu, thank you so much for joining Chant A Psalm A. I'm just talking about the word today that's gathering and how we are in that space of gathering with folks as we are going into this holiday season. And safe travels to everyone out there who is traveling. Be safe on the roads if you're driving. Be safe as you're traveling on a plane, on a train, or in an automobile. So be careful, be safe, and I wish everyone happiness, as El Su said, and blessed rise, as Chawa just said. So thanks for joining Chant A Psalm A. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you for liking this video, by the way. I am pleased to, report that I'm traveling, okay? And I don't want to say where I'm traveling, where I am, and all that. There was a social media influencer that went missing. And he went missing, and they found his body several days later. So I'm not, speaking that as the reason, but it's important for me, especially because of the things and the projects that I'm working on, that I have to be, how do I say it? I have to be in a private, space. I have to be private with the things that I'm talking about, because, oh, my shirt is coming down, because I am surrounded by advisors and folks, and they know that I, chant a psalm a day. They know that I'm online every day live chanting a psalm and looking at the psalm. And I have pastors calling, people are contacting me, and I'm not preaching. Okay, this is not a preaching platform. Okay, I'm not preaching anything. I'm not preaching the word of God. I'm not influencing folks into something specific. All I'm doing is sharing the word in relation to my life. Okay, that's it. And how different areas of my life I am showcasing. So in those areas, like yesterday, I showcased my book. I have a memoir, the first part of it, that's on Amazon right now. I had to update some accounts and stuff, but now you can probably be able to purchase it or you can message me and I can send you a publisher's copy where you don't have to pay the $35 because it's $35 online. So I use this platform to share my work and to share who I am. And I just love to chant the psalm. So I basically use, the psalm as a sounding board, in other words. And I translated the psalm to liberate the word, to liberate myself out of the oppressive indoctrinations of society that has limited my ability to obtain generational wealth, because this is what it's about. It's about generational wealth. It's about getting older and saving for retirement, for example, so you're not calling on the phone asking people to help you with money to buy milk or to buy food. So the psalm today really speaks to this because this is Psalm number 14, and Psalm 14 speaks to this because it tells of the foolishness. I call it the foolery, the foolery of what is happening in our world today. Just unbelievable foolery, right? Let me move this up some. Okay. So we have the psalm that puts us in a good place. Because let me tell you, if it wasn't for the psalm, chanting the psalm and having a close relationship with the Most High and being in that space, in that relation to the Most High, I don't know where I would be. I don't want to know. So Psalm 14 gives us, it's similar to Psalm number 1 that, or I think it's Psalm number 2. Which Psalm is it? That talks about, I don't know if it's Psalm 1. Yeah, Psalm 1, the way of the righteous and the way of the wicked. This Psalm 14 is looking at the fool, the way of the fool, and what the fool says in their heart, these things that they are, harboring. So it's similar to Psalm number 1, right? Psalm number 1, it's similar to that. And I like the opportunity to talk about the psalm. It would be good if I had a partner that was part of it too, that would sit here and be like, okay, what do you think about the psalm? Well, verse 1 is talking about the fool says in his heart. You know what I mean? It would be good if you had that partner to do that with. And people are not shy, or they're not worried about what somebody else is going to speak about. Thank you for liking this video, by the way. We have to put our guards down and realize that human beings they can talk about us, have opinions and, whatever, but they are not our ultimate judge. They cannot, and that's the lie that we've been told, that we need people to validate us. I've been told that lie, that I need somebody to validate me. I told a person that I knew, I was like, you didn't value me, you didn't validate me. And it's like, wait a minute, that's not their job. That is not their job to validate you or to value you. It's your job to value and validate yourself. Okay? Yes, he's traveling with me too, everywhere I go. Anyway, so I look at the Psalm 14 and the fool it's talking about. I ask that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart is acceptable in the sight of what is righteous, what is good, what is kind, what is loving, what is sacred, what is honorable, and what is forgiving, right? That is what I want these words and the meditation of my heart to be acceptable in that sight. So when I look at the psalm today and I look at the word today, gathering, it's really powerful. And then I look at the verse today. We have three of them. I have the word gathering. I have the Psalm 14. The fool says there is no God. And then I have Colossians 3:16, right? Let the message of Christ dwell among you richly. So this message, and some pastors talk about female preachers and the women are not supposed to be doing that, right? I agree with that to some extent. Like if you have an issue of blood happening in your body, you shouldn't prepare food for people. You shouldn't, go to the altar of God. You shouldn't, if you're having an issue of blood. As a woman, there's certain things that we have to take care of ourselves in doing, right? I'm glad I don't get mine anymore. I don't have an issue of blood anymore. Thank goodness. I don't know why I say thank goodness, because I want another baby. But anyway, we have to remember that we all have a divinity, and that divine order, it has been set up. There's a divine order for things. And when you go outside that divine order, you're going to have confusion. Things are not going to, it's not going to be well, in other words, because you're outside of that divine order. So you're out of order. When things are out of order, what happens, right? Things don't work. So when we look at the Psalm today, that is where I looked at Psalm number 1 in comparison to it, because Psalm number 1 talks about the wicked and the righteous, and Psalm 14 talks about the fool, and the fool is described as one who says there is no God. And remember, what is God? God is righteousness. God is love. God is kindness. God is sacred. God is forgiveness. God is redeemer. God is omnipotent. We could go on and on and on and list all of what God is. So the fool is not just talking about there is no God. The fool is talking about there is no righteous. There is none of these things that God is about. This is what the fool is talking about in their heart. I'm not speaking that anybody out there is a fool, okay? I'm talking about what Psalm 14 is speaking of. The fool says inside of them that there is no God. They're not saying it out loud. They're saying it inside their hearts. This is what they're feeling. Because God they feel maybe left behind, or they may feel alone or lonely or something. But that's when God comes and is there with you when you are alone. And what ends up happening is that when you push that away, guess who comes in? The destroyer. The destroyer comes in with a company of destroyers, right? And it's important when we talk about what God is and who God is, and who the fool is and what the fool is, to be very specific about it. And Psalm 14 verse 1 is. Psalm 14 verse 1 explains what the fool is. They are corrupt. They do abominable things. There is none who does good. So the corruption, the abominable things people do, because they have pushed that righteousness away. that God away. And because people are seeking. So in verse 1, it just kicks it off really good. It kicks it off really good. Verse 2 now speaks of this righteousness, that's God, looking from above on humanity to see whether anyone understood and was seeking after this righteousness. That's right. It speaks of the seeking out. Is anyone out there seeking for righteousness, seeking for goodness? In verse 3, it answers the question, they've all turned aside. And together, not just by themselves, but remember I said being alone is being one with God. So you're building that relationship. But when you push God away and you invite outside in, that outside as that's, you need that, you're going to invite trouble. Because it speaks of this as turning aside. They've turned aside and they've together now become corrupt. And there is none that does good, not even one. So verse 4 now is a question to the fools. It's a question. Have the fools no knowledge? All the corruption and the evildoers who eat up the righteous people as they eat up bread and don't call upon righteousness. They don't call on goodness and mercy and love. They have no knowledge. They don't know. Okay? And they eat up the folks. They're taking from people as they take bread, as they eat bread. This is what they're doing. So verse 5 now says what's going to happen. And these fools, these fools will be in great terror. They're going to be in great terror because God is with the generation of the righteous. So when you're doing wrongness, you're pushing God away. God is there. God isn't going to disappear. God is going to be there all the time. But you have pushed God away. So God is further away. Guess who can come in now? The destroyer. The destroyer can easily come now. This happened to me. I pushed God away and welcomed somebody else in, and they destroyed my life. So I'm speaking from experience, okay? From experience. So I cannot push God away again for anyone else. You can't follow the rules of righteousness. You can't follow you say it's my rules. It's not my rule. It's God's rule. It's righteousness rule. Because cleanliness is next to godliness. So when I have rules about cleaning the kitchen or cleaning this or leaving shoes outside and not coming in, this isn't my rules. I'm following rules of the Most High. That's it. I may break them sometimes. I may mess up. I may fall short of the glory. That's where a partner comes in to pick me up. So that's who God is with, the generation of the righteous. And verse 6, the fool tried to shame the plans of the poor. Right? It says in verse 6, you would shame the plans of the poor, but the Lord is the poor's refuge. That's why when you're poor and needy, you don't have money, you don't have a person next to you, guess who's going to be there? That righteousness. That's who's going to be there. And you got to hold on to that. Holding on to that is going to keep you away from the destroyer who coming to destroy you. Because people are out there to destroy you. That's their job. I'm not talking about anyone out there. I'm talking about people who are destroyers that come to destroy you. They come to take. They don't come to give. They come to take. So in verse 7 and the end of verse 6, righteousness is the safety for the poor and needy. Stay in that space. Don't go put your hand into wrongness because you're poor and needy and you need this or you need that. Right? You don't want that. So it's important when we look at this psalm. What is Psalm 14 verse 7? Oh, that salvation for I will come out of happiness. Happiness. And when righteousness returns, when you accept that, people waiting for Jesus all day long and doing wrong, when that one is there, is near, better get that one while that one's near. Okay? So restore that into your life, righteousness into your life. Restore that so that you can have what is the abundance of goodness, not the abundance of calamity and the abundance of terror. Right? So, this salvation, this future, you want to come out of happiness. So when righteousness restores now itself into you, you're going to rejoice. You're going to be glad. You're going to be glad in it. So Psalm 14 really rings true. It really rings true. And it gives us a good foundation of where we need to be in our lives and how we need to not push away the goodness and the mercy, but to stay in a long suffering, to stay in a place of honesty and truth and righteousness and mercy and humility and integrity, staying in those spaces. So when I look at the psalm today, Psalm 14, I give thanks that I'm not a fool. I will not be a fool, and I will not be foolish, okay, and think that there is no God and do things to people not thinking that there is a God and that I'm not going to have to pay an answer for these things. I don't want to be a fool like that. No, 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 no. I may be a fool loving someone don't love me. I may be a fool, giving my last penny to someone who doesn't love, grateful or whatever the case may be. That may be a fool. But when it comes to God, and goodness and mercy and righteousness, I'm not going to be a fool and say that there is none of that. Because I know that there is love and grace. I know that. So when I look at this psalm today, it really echoes the, where do you want to go from here? And where I want to go from here is up, seeking for what is above and not for what is below. Because I'm already below, I'm already on this earth low. Gravity is already holding me down. I don't need you to hold me down. I don't need that person to hold me down. I need that person. Gravity's already doing it. All I got to do now is keep myself up. I can't wait for you or you or you to help me do that. I have to be the one to do it. So let me just send it through this one. Yep, here it is. 63551. Okay. As I said, I'm traveling. I'm doing multiple things at one time. But I wanted to, Selah, amen, and amen again, Selah and Selah again, with this Psalm 14, because as I transition into the verse of the day that's coming from verse 16 out of chapter 3 of Colossians, it really echoes Psalm 14, right? It really does. It's the message. It's the message of knowing who you are. And this verse 16 out of Colossians chapter 3, really speaks of it because it talks about the message. It talks about the message. It talks about the message. Let the message of the Most High dwell among you richly as you teach and admonish one another with all wise mind through psalms, hymns, and songs from the righteousness, chanting songs and melodies to righteousness, the Most High, with gratitude in your hearts. So when we look at the verse today, it's really chock full of greatness and goodness, because this greatness and goodness that is coming from this verse is giving examples of how that looks. Like, this is how it looks. It looks chanting psalms, making melody with hymns and from that righteous space. So I love Colossians. Thank you, God, for Colossians chapter 3, verse 16. Beautiful. Amazing. Because it really resonates in terms of how important the message. It's not about the messenger. It's not about me, okay? It's about the message. And that message of Christ, that message of righteousness, dwells among I and I richly. Okay, it's dwelling among you right now as you're listening to this chant a psalm. So that richness, as you're being taught, when you're in, that's why education is so important, right? And when you admonish folks, and tell folks, what they've done to you, you use the scriptures to do that. You don't call them a name and all this stuff. Yes, yesterday I called people's behaviors hoish because sleeping around with folks, that's what that behavior is called, right? But I wasn't calling anyone that out there. Um, so in this verse today, we see how that message is important. And the word today, gathering, I gather with others and feel close to righteousness, is about this message. Each one of us is bringing a message in our body language, the way our expressions, the way we talk, what we speak about, our behaviors, our beliefs. These are messages we're sending, right? When people send you messages, you gotta listen to these messages. Either you run away from them or you stay. But they're giving you messages of what you need to do, either to be with them or not. So I gather with others and feel close to righteousness. So this word today for November 27th, it's my little dog's birthday today. Respect has a birthday today for the 27th of November. And the 27th, I do Carla's Communication Corner. I stopped doing that when I started doing Chant A Psalm, but I want to do Carla's Communication Corner again. I started doing that because communication was lacking in my relationship, and I wanted to, encourage communication, but it didn't work. They never communicated with me and went with someone else. But anyway, enough about that. That's been buried, right? The word today, gathering. I gather with others and feel close to God, to righteousness, to what is the Most High. So there are many ways to share the energy of connection with friends and family. Whether we communicate by phone, in writing, or on social media. So I communicate by writing. I sent my mom and my sister, my other sister, I sent them cards, handwritten cards. So I send out writings or communicate by phone or on social media. So I treasure our connections and the opportunity to be in touch. We're going to be and stay in touch with each other. So gathering in person is perhaps my favorite kind of connection. Just being in the presence of those who are special to me makes my heart glad, right? Sharing smiles and hugs and spending unhurried time together, sharing stories is a gift unlike any other. So no matter how I gather with my friends and loved ones, I am grateful that righteousness is with I and I as the love and joy in I and I hearts, right? That righteousness is the Most High, is God, is Jah, Selassie the First, Rastafari, however you want to speak that. That's your relationship and your business. Nobody should tell you who to call as long as your belief is about righteousness and goodness and mercy and love and all of that, forgiveness and all that, and your behaviors exemplify all that, you're good. Call who you want to call. Just don't call the devil. That's why, yeah. So sharing smiles and hugs is a good thing. No matter how I gather with my friends and loved ones, I am grateful. God, the Most High, is with I and I as the love and joy in I and I hearts. So when the time for I and I to part company, right? I have to go away, right? I have to leave you. My son, I'm traveling right now and I have to leave. I have to be apart, right? I'm grateful. And when that time for me to be apart from you, I'm going to still commune with the Most High, that we still carry that love and joy for the days and years that we have ahead, right? Even though we are parting company. You drop me off at the airport and I say, I love you. We'll see you soon. And then that when I leave you, I pray, I commune with the Most High. That goes deeper. I commune with the Most High, that we carry that love and joy for the days and years ahead. I carried that, but the person I was with did not. So time together is a gift. It's a gift. And one gift I am so very grateful for. That's why when I come into town, I'm traveling and I'm going by my friend, and I'm in town, they pay attention. They talk to me. They're not on the phone talking to someone else, right? When I come into town, they don't see me that often. So when I come into town, they're right there talking to me. We're in the bed cuddling up. We're, making breakfast together. What else? We're, rubbing each other's feet. We're massaging each other's hands. All these things is what that time together is a gift. And we're grateful for that gift. My son is traveling with me and he's annoying right now. Close your door, close that door. So this verse to this word today, gathering, is important because in Matthew chapter 18 verse 20, Matthew speaks of, for where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I am there among them. So it's not one, unless you're Moses, right? So it's 2 or 3 are gathered, and you have to not just be gathered, bumping and grinding at the club, but gathered in the name of mercy and compassion and forgiveness and loyalty. In the name of all of that. If you're not gathered in the name of that, you're singing praises to the devil. I'm sorry, that's what's happening. So I am there among them when you are gathered in the name of Jesus. What is Jesus? Jesus is love and loyalty, forgiveness and mercy, compassion and truth and right and communication and friendship. Remember, people say, what a friend we have in Jesus. That is a friendship. And when you don't behave in the way and the name you are calling, guess what? You are saying praises to the devil unintentionally, and you're getting the destroyer gonna come in and destroy you and destroy your life. Destroy your emotional state of being, destroy your job, your home, your credit, everything the destroyer coming to do when you are not gathered in the name of righteousness, mercy, love, and kindness. Yeah. Selah and Selah again. Thank you for joining Chant A Psalm A Day. We are ending the psalm with this wonderful, wonderful verse today from verse 16. This is Colossians chapter 3. Let the message of Christ dwell among you richly as you teach and admonish one another with all wise mind through psalms, hymns, and songs from righteousness, from the chanting of music to righteousness with gratitude, as Elsu says, in your hearts. Gratitude is a powerful thing. Let's find it. Let's exemplify that gratitude, right? That's important. Selah and Selah again. We are right in the 40-minute block of time. I'm thankful for the psalm today. Have a blessed day, everyone. And remember, stand in love. Don't fall in it, okay? Remember, time together is a gift. Don't quarrel and fuss with each other. Love each other. right? Time together is a gift. And you should be grateful for that time together. Don't take people for granted. Because when the water run dry, when the well run dry, what you gonna do? Right? What are you gonna do? So be grateful for everyone in your life and the time that you have with them. Thank you, Elsu, for my safe travels. Thank you so much. And safe travels to anyone else out there who is traveling during this time. I'm traveling for business. I keep working and working and working for my future. And I'm thankful that I have earning potential. I have a potential to earn funds. So I'm going to exit by telling you, check out my memoir. It is, how many pages is this? It is 67 pages. 60 something pages, yeah. A quick read. Quick read, fun read. Go ahead to Amazon and check it out. It's there for sale. Thank you so much for joining Chant A Psalm A Day. Remember, I'm going to be coming back on possibly today for Carla's Communication Corner, the 27th of the month. We rockin'. The 4th of the month we rock. So at the end of the month and the beginning of the month, I'm going to do a live show the 27th of every month, honoring the 27th of September. And then the 4th of every month, honoring my daughter and my son that was born on the 4th of January and the 4th of November. So the 27th and the 4th are my children. That's who I am honoring with these shows that I'm putting together. So have a blessed day, everyone, and take good care. Yes, travel safely. You too, Chawa, Elsu. Thank you so much for joining Chant A Psalm A Day. Have a blessed day, everyone. Take good care. See you next time.